Hi there, welcome back to the Dylan Rounds case. Just wanted to share with you a news update regarding an official statement from the family. It's finally come and it's been posted on Facebook. I'm going to read it to you right now, see what the details are and what it's all about. It is in relation to Dylan Rounds being found and recovered. Let's begin reading. Here we are. So it was a bit awkward to get onto the Facebook page this time around. I don't know if things have changed about, but it was Jasmia that posted it 21 hours ago. The caption: "It has taken the family a minute to catch their breath and prepare a statement. This is only the beginning. Dylan's legacy won't solely echo his prowess as a farmer, but also stand as a beacon of assistance during difficult times. Please visit the newly launched website often, as we will continually be updating it." And there's the link there. We'll click on that shortly, but let's begin reading this official statement from the Dylan Rounds family. Now, if the text is a little bit too small to read, don't worry, I will zoom in a second. You can see the banner up top. You can see the photos of Dylan Rounds from different times taken, the hashtag Dylan's legacy, and below it a small caption: "Dylan Rounds missing from his farm in Lucin, Utah since May 28, 2022. And then below, update, 5th of the 1st, 2024. Zooming in right now, I think that should be good enough. "For immediate release from the family of Dylan Rounds." That sounds interesting. Lucin, Utah. "It is with heavy hearts that the family of Dylan Rounds announces the tragic discovery of Dylan Rounds' remains on the 4th of the 9th, 2024, after the suspect, James Brenner, in his disappearance, led authorities to the shallow grave located in Box Elder County, Utah." So it's not giving the exact location, but what's very interesting, they're describing it as a shallow grave. So it just goes to prove and reinforce that Dylan Rounds was buried in the ground. But for it being shallow, it also highlights a poor job by the hands of, let's say, Brenner. Not too much time taken to dig a grave. It was only shallow. Interesting. These little details that come out with time, we may be able to piece it together to create a bigger picture and understand the story leading up to the desecration of Dylan Rounds. So anyone watching, be sure to take notes and let me know your thoughts regarding a shallow grave in Lucin, Utah. Was you expecting that? Now, continue reading. "Whilst we had hoped for a different outcome, we have known since the start Dylan was no longer alive. This recent development means the investigation has gone full circle, and now we can finally bring Dylan home and close this chapter. Plans for a celebration of life will be for close friends and family only. We do plan on hosting a virtual celebration of life on Dylan's birthday, which will be August 1st, 2024. Please watch for more information in Dylan's Legacy Facebook group and website." Okay? Now, it's interesting where it says, "We have known since the start Dylan was no longer alive." And, early on, I would agree, because they suspected foul play when they came across the boots and how the items were found along the way. They started taking it serious, but the police didn't immediately. They were still treating it as a missing person case that he could return back any time. And then eventually dragged out, the police caught on and then treated it as a serious case and true crime related. But I would argue and say that the family were hopeful for a day or two at least that Dylan was still alive, such as with the 31st of May 2022 call made by Kurt Wadsworth, influenced by his ex-girlfriend, supposedly a psychic reader, that Dylan was supposedly held hostage by Chase Venstra and Aviles in the town of Montello. That caught the attention of the family, and police eventually made their way down there. It was a dead end, false lead, false information, but in that moment, the family were hopeful that Dylan Rounds was still alive. So to say that the family already knew from the beginning that Dylan was no longer alive, well, that's kind of incorrect, okay? I'm just being very specific in case anyone wonders why I'm being awkward. I'm just telling you from what I remember and how it was said by Candice Cooley at the time, and Justin. Then it goes on to say here, we find solace in knowing that Dylan was surrounded by a network of caring individuals who spared no effort in the search for him. Okay, fair enough. When I started reading that first, I was thinking, are they talking about when Dylan was alive? Because obviously he wouldn't have been around caring individuals. Because if he was, he probably wouldn't have ended the way he did. But no, they're talking about the search, the efforts, the volunteers, people trying to help in searching physically and spreading awareness with posters and flyers. That's understandable. It did create a community and it created new networks and pathways for people out there. So I agree with that. It goes on to say, your prayers, well wishes, and acts of kindness sustained us through this ordeal, and we will forever be indebted to each and every one of you. As we come to terms with this heartbreaking discovery, we kindly request privacy and respect as we grieve the passing of our beloved Dylan. So there's going to be a level of silence now, a wall of silence. It's understandable because a chapter has closed. A new one will open in the future, probably in one way or another, such as to do with Brenna and getting the justice there. If there'd be another chapter later on to do with the LE and rules or laws being changed or adjusted, if that ever does happen. So you can still say there's unfinished business. As for the information though regarding Dylan Rounds, the location, has that been revealed yet? No. But a small description, a new description was given further up in this statement about it being a shallow grave. So that adds a little bit more to the story of what's happened. Supposedly the family know the location, though at the time it was Brenna that led authorities only to the grave. But then I guess with that and then the family being informed by the police, I'm sure they were informed about the actual location. What about the autopsy report? Well, that still remains unknown to the public eye. Do the family know? I'm not too sure. If they did, it's understandable as they're just taking it all in a way, where they need time to grieve and then make steps forward after that point. But equally, in recent time, what we saw, whether it's 100% the truth or not, when we looked at that newspaper journal, and it was by L.E. Boxelder, I believe, Sheriff's Office, and Cade Palmer, Deputy or Detective Cade Palmer. That article, what we looked at a few days ago now, where they were talking about, because of the legal implications and that plea deal, that there's details that can't be handed over to the public or revealed publicly just yet because of the laws and the regulations, but in time it will eventually come out. Candice Cooley did respond back to that post on Facebook and said, in time we will tell our story of how things went. So is that going to be in general? Is that going to be from start to finish? Is it going to be the end point of the chapter in which how they were told and the information that they were handed over? Or have they not been given that either? I'm wondering. So the location, the true definitive location of Dylan Brown's body still remains a mystery. The autopsy report and cause of death still remains a mystery to the public. Do the family know about those details? I'm not too sure, because how it was mentioned in that newspaper article, because of regulations and the law and legal reasons, it can't be released yet. But would the family have been informed privately? If anyone knows or has an idea, share your thoughts down below. Okay? Let me know your thoughts as well, what you think about this public statement from the family. Now, let's continue reading. It says, in the wake of this heart-wrenching experience, we have chosen to channel our grief into a positive force by creating Dylan's Legacy, a non-profit organisation to help families in similar situations. Dylan's Legacy will serve as a beacon of hope and support for families navigating the distressing ordeal of a missing loved one and the frustration of getting authorities to act accordingly. Because, of course, the arguably negative influence of the L.E. Boxelder when dealing with the Dylan Brown's case, it didn't always go that smoothly or well in the early days to mid-range days. Got a bit better with time, but never perfect. So it's about spreading awareness there of what can go wrong and how to avoid it, and awareness in pushing for better treatment towards the families when authorities are involved. because Candice Coolidge and Rounds said that he felt that they were being made a mockery of at times and joked about by the Ellie in the background behind their backs. So it's about trying to avoid those unpleasant experiences, because on top of having to deal with a missing loved one or someone you may know, as bad as that is, if you've got authorities on top causing you trouble, that really doesn't help. So that awareness there for other families out there who may be going through the same thing or about to try and prevent that negative. Now, it says, through this 501c3 non-profit, the Cooley Rounds family aims to provide resources, guidance and emotional support to those affected by similar circumstances, from community awareness to partnering with S&R, is that search and rescue, organisations and advocating for policy changes. Dylan's legacy will strive to make a meaningful difference in the lives of others facing the uncertainty of a missing family member. Establishing Dylan's legacy is our way of honouring Dylan's memory and ensuring that other families facing similar circumstances receive the assistance and compassion they deserve. And then lastly, the family expresses their deepest gratitude to everyone who has contributed to the search for Dylan and supported them throughout this ordeal. They invite individuals and organisations to join them in their mission to make positive impact through Dylan's legacy. And then there's a link there. For more information on Dylan's legacy or to offer support, please visit Dylan's Legacy. So we'll click on that right now, see what the website's all about, just for the clarity. Well, here we are, as you can see, Dylan's Legacy. In the background, you got some other posters of missing people. Is that Aidan Clune on the right side of Dylan? It appears to be so. And some of them have been updated, such as the one on the far right, a guy called Alec, found safe, and obviously Dylan, recovered of his body. There is information down below, and we might as well read it, the introduction. Welcome to Dylan's Legacy. Through this non-profit organisation, the Cooley Rounds family aims to provide resources, guidance and emotional support to those affected by a similar circumstance, from community awareness to partnering with search and rescue. So we saw that before on the Facebook page. There is a section there to donate, but that says coming soon. It's not quite available. You got the Etsy store to do with Dylan Rounds products. I don't know if you'd call it merchandise, probably not the correct term, but there was like clothing, hoodies, maybe earrings, stickers. You remember that? Bracelets in the memory of Dylan Rounds, and that all the money generated from there. So anyone that buys items, that money would then go into this non-profit organisation, or at the time the proceeds would go towards the K9 task force unit that have helped other families out there when it's come to the cadaver dogs, rescue dogs, in searching and locating for missing people. And that was a success back then. So onwards, who knows what could happen. Who are we? Our mission. Our mission is to provide unwavering support to families in their search for missing loved ones, offering a compassionate and comprehensive approach that combines resources, technology, and dedicated advocacy to bring home and resolution to every family in need. There's an image there of a sunflower in relation to Dylan Rounds, farming, honouring him. Our values. At our organisation, we are guided by the following core values. Okay. Number 1, compassion. We approach every case with empathy and understanding, recognising the profound impact of a missing family member on the lives of those left behind, so family members and friends. Number 2, collaboration. We believe in the power of partnerships, working closely with law enforcement, communities and other organisations to maximise resources and expertise in our search efforts. Number 3, integrity. We uphold the highest standards of ethics and transparency, ensuring that our actions and operations are always guided by honesty, accountability, and respect for the families we serve. 4, empowerment. We strive to empower families by providing them with the necessary tools, information, emotional support to actively participate in the search process and make informed decisions. And 5, persistence. We are dedicated to persistently pursuing every lead and exploring every avenue, committed to the belief that every missing person deserves to be found and every family deserves closure and peace. Okay, fair enough. Got a photo there of Justin Rounds on the left, father of Dylan Rounds, and Candice Cooley, the mother, on the right there. This is from the past, some months ago now, to do with Brenner when he had one of those hearings or arraignments in court, when he was limping in and hopping about. East Idaho News covered it. Our team, founded by Dylan's parents, Candice Cooley and Justin Rounds, to honour Dylan's legacy, our team is made up of dedicated professionals and volunteers who are passionate about helping families. There you go, a little photo edit of Dylan's legacy, 2002 to 2022. Okay, there's Dylan. Who is Dylan? Dylan, born on August 1st, 2002 to Justin Rounds and Candice Cooley, is the eldest of their 3 children raised in a farming environment with a passion for the farming life. He aspired to own and manage his own expansive farm. In 2019, Dylan embarked on his dream, partnering with his grandfather on the land in Lucin, Utah, grandfather known as Larry Rounds. After 2 summers of meticulous preparation, he was finally set to plant his first crop in the spring of 2022, working tirelessly late into the night on Friday, May 27th. Dylan sowed his seeds just before the impending rain. The following morning, Saturday, May 28th, he conversed with his grandmother via a phone call near to the grain shed property, the gate entranceway, and that was at 6:51 a.m. in the morning, marking the last known interaction with Dylan Rounds. And then what happened after that, although it doesn't mention it here, Dylan supposedly making his way down to the grain shed property, interaction with Brenner or an ambush by Brenner killing Dylan on the spot. Fast forward 30 minutes on from Dylan near to the gate and the conversation he had with the grandmother, all the way up to, what was it? Was it 7:27? Apologies. 7:27 a.m. Roughly a 30-minute time difference between Dylan being at the gate, making it down to the grain shed property, being taken out by Brenner, and 7:27 a.m. marking the time-lapse footage of Brenner cleaning a gun with blood on him and DNA from Dylan on the shirt what Brenner was wearing. So it's quite self-explanatory, that. Okay. And as for the full details, of course, I've done previous videos and I'm sure you will be aware of, but it's actually good this, how they've worded it, the beginning of what happened to Dylan, right? Reconfirming it and being consistent, okay? Because there's been a couple of arseholes, okay, and quite a few audience members, outsiders within this community, and I know exactly who they are, that engaged in trying to change the narrative and alter it in a corrupt way and cause disruption. A lot of those people have dispersed now like little, worms wiggling away. And others have moved on to other cases, and now they're treated like saints, angels, martyrs, whatever you want to call it. And it's like, just remember your past and where you came from, what you caused as for damage in the Dylan Rounds community, and what you enabled and, in a way, participated in by the people you hung around, which weren't exactly good influences, right? I'm aware of the humans out there, but I'm also aware that people have moved on to other cases. And is that a good thing? Is it really a good thing? Some people may be able to change in a different direction in a positive light, but it's still knowing what people have done in the past, right? And I look at it as for the future. These people, these creators, small maybe, moving on to other things, bigger, better cases, whatever, growing themselves, being praised in the process, may turn out well, may turn out good, but people should be aware of those people's past and what they've done back then, right? Just for that awareness, that full transparency. And I'm not talking about Dylan's legacy here, I'm talking about general public, people that engaged within the Dylan Rounds case early on and for most part of it, okay? We don't need to mention any direct names because it's not necessary at this point, but I'm aware in my mind, just like how you're probably aware in your mind. And still to this day, we still get the odd arsehole popping up here and there, odd semi-casual outsider viewer popping in here, okay? So I'm fully aware, if there needs to be cleansing in the future on this channel, if it's ever really needed, and I mean really needed, then I'll do so, because there's no harm. But to refer back to this, the important part with Dylan Rounds, how it was saying, Dylan Rounds working tirelessly late into the night on Friday, May 27th. And that's confirmed and backed up and reinforced by the hikers, the ones camping out by, I believe, Pigeon Mountain, who saw late at night, 11:30 to 11:45 p.m, I believe, tractor lights on, work being done. That was Dylan Rounds, busy, getting on with stuff with the time he had left, considering it was raining the following day and the morning. So things had to be done, get it out of the way, and passionate, determined to get it done. That's Dylan Rounds for you. I said there were people that tried denying it, but clearly this is what happened, and it's been consistent since. And then as for Saturday, May 28th, in the morning time, a phone call with the grandmother. Once again, arseholes in the background claiming it wasn't a phone call, it was a text message. But it's been consistent, it was a phone call, and even the grandmother confirmed it. Okay? So it's just awkward individuals out there, humans along the way, that tried straying away from this original story. Very unfortunate, but I'm aware of who did it. Okay? Now, low down. On the 3rd of the 3rd, 2023, James Brenner was charged with 1 count of aggravated murder and 1 count of abuse or desecration of a human body in Dylan's disappearance, according to the Utah court records. He remains in custody. On the 4th of the 9th, 2024, as part of a plea deal, James Brenner led authorities to Dylan's remains. A memorial service will be held for close friends and family only. A virtual memorial service will be held on Dylan's birthday, the 8th of the 1st, August 2024. Okay? So that pretty much checks out there. That seems like an old photo from the past. It seems like there's a couple of them, like a slideshow. Dylan Rounds, tractor. There's Dylan Rounds again. There's Dylan. Okay, fair enough. How can we help? Okay, some details there if you want to reach out. Now, on the side section here, we got some additional stuff, so we'll check that out. Resources, Dylan's legacy. Gabby Petito Foundation. So that's to do with another missing person, if I'm correct in saying. How old were they? 22 or something? So the Gabby Petito Foundation gives a description here. With a mission to turn their tragedy into purpose, the Gabby Petito Foundation was born. They addressed the needs of organizations that support locating missing persons and to provide aid to organizations that assist survivors of domestic violence through education, awareness, and prevention strategies. The Cooley Rounds family works closely with the Petito Schmidt family to advocate for all victims. Okay? K9 Task Force Unit, very aware of by now. That's the banner. So, many people are unaware of the different types of canines that can be used in missing person cases. The K9 Task Force is one of the most professional and credited teams in the United States. Their dedication to help others and the integrity they maintain whilst doing so is above and beyond. The K9 Task Force Unit has played an integral part within the search for Dylan's and the recovery of his remains. And take in mind, at some point in 2023, there were 2 verified alerts in which things were supposedly found, such as DNA evidence. Not at the time of Dylan Rounds' body being found, but additional evidence within the case and investigation. We never knew, we never got to learn about it. Will we in the future? I wonder. Because it would be interesting if it was a catalyst in the part that played in Brenner doing that plea deal. Whether it's linked or not, it's interesting. It showed that the K9 unit, when they were properly used, they had a good impact, a positive impact on the case. And ever since, with the money raised, proceeds towards them to help them continue what they do, they have been deployed all over the place in different states within the US, and we looked at it in the past on Facebook, in which in one of the cases they recovered someone, I believe a body, so just got closure there. And in some other cases, dogs deployed elsewhere, the odd verified alert. So they have made an impact in a short space of time with that money that was raised. So that's positive. You got the Missing in America Network, as we've seen, heard before. There we go. There's the badge. So it's the 501c3 non-profit dedicated to managing missing person campaigns, fostering online awareness, and engaging communities to reunite family with their loved ones. During these overwhelming times, families often get lost in the navigation of social media and how beneficial it can be with the right guidance. Missing in America Network is a safe place to get that guidance. Dylan's Legacy and Missing in America, I nearly said Missing in Action then, oops, partnered together to increase awareness for missing persons. Then you got the National Domestic Violence Hotline. There's the phone number. National, is a crucial resource in the United States for individuals experiencing the violence or seeking information and support related to certain relationships. National Centre for Missing and Exploited Younger Individuals. You got that one there. The nation's non-profit clearinghouse and comprehensive reporting centre for all issues related to the prevention of and recovery from child victimisation. If your police agency does not report your missing child to NCMEC, you can contact them directly. The Aware Foundation, that you see here. What's this one? We disseminate missing or endangered notifications through social media and law enforcement. We also have a design team. Our posts and posters reach hundreds of thousands of people quickly. Reunite research, advocacy, and investigation. There's that one. A Tennessee missing persons private investigator and advocate specializing in runaway teens and missing adults. Chloe's empathetic nature sets her apart, providing not only professional expertise but also compassionate support to families navigating the challenging journey of searching for their missing loved ones. Arizona Private Investigations, as you see here. Obviously not dodgy like some out there. Having a loved one missing or runaway can be scary. You need someone who is knowledgeable and dependable. 24 plus years of experience, high success rate. I'm here to help. There you go, phone number, email. Arizona licensed private investigation agency specializing in missing persons, including search and rescue. A lot of families find themselves in a position of law enforcement not taking their case as serious as they would like. Chris Castorina is a dedicated victim-orientated PI. Search investigations. There's that one. Lead investigator Steve Fisher brings a wealth of expertise garnered from years in private investigations and search and rescue missions. With a focus on missing person cases, his toolkit includes a diverse array of resources, such as investigation techniques, canine units, thermal imaging, drones, underwater ROVs, and cutting-edge technology licensed in California, Arizona, Florida, Tennessee, and Alabama. Fisher's reach extends across multiple jurisdictions. So, quite wide. NamUs, very familiar with that because of the Dylan Rounds case, and of course the beginning of, when I started covering it on my channel, Kenny Veach, missing person from Las Vegas, Nevada. National Missing and Unidentified Persons System, NamUs. NamUs is a national information clearinghouse and resource center for missing, unidentified, and unclaimed person cases across the United States. NamUs has two databases, the public one, which everyone can search for missing people profiles, and then the private one, which the authorities and police have access to. It happened within the Dylan Rounds case, in which the authorities accidentally entered in sensitive information onto the public site, which talked about the truck, the pickup one, and the gun and key fob being returned back, right? Bit of controversy there. Moving on to events coming soon. Okay, so no events at this moment in time on this screen. News, what do we have? Dylan's Legacy in the news. Right, okay, so this is basically what we read before, okay? On Facebook. The official statement by the family. So there we go. Be sure to let me know your thoughts in general regarding this, what we looked at, the website, and of course the official statement from the family. Are you pleased to see what's been said and talked about, or are you slightly disappointed? Leave all your comments down below. Also down below in the comment section, you want to share your questions. If you have any, feel free to do so. You can always respond back to it later. And the pinned comment below, feel free to check it out if you wish to. Top right corner of the screen as well, let's not forget that. You want to catch up on the latest interesting videos, click on that I symbol top right, you'll be able to follow from there. Hopefully people found this video of some interest, and it'd be appreciated to like and share this so more people hear about the latest updates and current news within the Dylan Rounds case, where things stand. All I would say is one key important takeaway point from this video, I would say, at least from my memory, that shallow grave is a very important factor within this case and the recovery of Dylan. It does put it all into perspective with Brenner, the type of person he was, lazy, lackluster behaviour, not putting 100% into things he does. And whilst, yes, Brenner was successful in hiding Dylan's remains for quite some time, and if the plea deal was never made, Dylan would still be missing till this day, right? So there was success there from Brenner. But to know it was a shallow grave and yet it took this long, and that without Brenner, they probably wouldn't have been able to find Dylan for quite some time, goes to show that depth isn't directly the main factor or the problem. It's probably the sheer size of the area. Once we find out about the true specific location, though, that'll make everything a lot more clearer. And I might even be able to do a closing video in on that to measure the distance from point A to point B and understand why it took so long and how much longer it would have took without the assistance of Brenner. Okay, so thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye, good night for now.